guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, I hope you're all doing well, and I am back. It is Tuesday, July 23rd, and we are going to dive right into the Q posts from today, the 23rd. So let's get started. Are you ready? I know, you were born ready, weren't you? All right, let's go. And I do want to mention, just before I get started, that if you wish to be subscribed to this channel, please make sure that you are still subscribed, because, you know, Twitter plays the games that they play. So just make sure that you are still subscribed if you wish to be. And also hit the bell to be notified of future videos. So we're good to go, I think. Now, there's not a lot of posts, but they're important posts. So let's start. This is the first one. And it starts up here. Or does it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, this is where it starts. And Q is letting us know, he's making reference to an earlier video, or an earlier post that he did on 8/11/2018. And it's here, and I've got a bigger picture of that. We're going to be looking at that in a few minutes here. And then below it says conspiracy or combination to monopolize. The FTC's competition mission is to enforce the rules of the competitive marketplace, the antitrust laws. These laws promote vigorous competition and protect consumers from anti-competitive mergers and business practices. Reconcile. Google, Facebook, Twitter. And then in either the, I guess it would be a placeholder box there and not a kill box, but this is a placeholder box, and he says change we can believe in. So he's put that in as a placeholder, and so we know that there is going to be change that we can believe in. And indeed, there is going to be, because we're going to get to that in a minute. And what he's saying is, okay, the FTC's mission, you know, is to enforce the rules of competitive marketplace, you know, the antitrust laws. Well, they're not doing that, because look at Google, Facebook, Twitter. So let's come down here, and he links to Trump students' status, and then again, he reiterates change we can believe in. Q. So let's go and take a look, first of all, at that link there. And this is going to be some good news, okay? We're going to get some good news here tonight. Really, we are. Breaking. The DOJ has announced they're opening an antitrust probe into social media companies. Now, all of you and myself, we've all been complaining about this, and all YouTube creators, at least the conservative ones and the ones that are pro-Trump, yeah, we have been complaining about this for quite a while now, and it just seems to be getting worse. So this is good news for all of us. And actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and follow Students for Trump. So the DOJ has announced they're opening an antitrust probe into social media companies. Without the discipline of meaningful market-based competition, digital platforms may act in ways that are not responsive to consumer demands. Now, I'm smiling. I'm smiling because this makes me very happy. This is what we all wanted. Now, market-leading online platforms. Review focuses on, let me make this a little larger here if I can. Oh, here we go. Okay. Justice Department reviewing the practices of market-leading online platforms. Review focuses on practices that create or maintain structural impediments to greater competition and user benefits. Washington. The Department of Justice announced today that the department's antitrust division is reviewing whether and how market-leading online platforms have achieved market power and are engaging in practices that have reduced competition, stifled innovation, or otherwise harmed consumers. Well, as a consumer, I can definitely say that I've been harmed because they are actively stifling my content, and they are dropping viewers. I have far more viewers than it says that I have. I know that for sure, because I've heard people say they were watching when the number just plunged, by thousands. So, and they don't suggest my videos because they're not monetized, and they're not monetized because they don't agree with the content. So yeah, I'm one of those consumers that's been harmed. And I know I'm not the only one. There are so many conservative voices that are being censored, stifled. The department's review will consider the widespread concerns that consumers, businesses, and entrepreneurs have expressed about search, social media, and some retail services online. The department's antitrust division is conferring with and seeking information from the public, including industry participants who have direct insight into competition in online platforms, as well as others. Without the discipline of meaningful marketplace-based competition, digital platforms may act in ways that are not responsive to consumer demands, said Assistant Attorney General Makin Delrahim of the Antitrust Division. The department's antitrust review will explore these important issues. Well, I am so glad, because they are not responsive to consumer demands, because we have been complaining about this, and not just the people that are the content creators, but also on Twitter, people that want to get their views heard. They stifle them as well. And also, it makes me angry when I'm trying to search for something, but the only thing that comes up is what Google, the Google gods will allow me to see, which is why I always use another platform now, because if they're not going to give me what I want, I'll just go to the next platform that will. I don't like my hand being held. I know you don't either. You're not stupid people. You don't need anybody to tell you what to think. You're able to take the information, judge it, and I'm tired of all the hand holding anyway, and the babysitting. The goal of the department's review is to assess the competitive conditions on the online marketplace in an objective and fair-minded manner, and to ensure Americans have access to free markets in which companies compete on the merits to provide services that users want. None of us want Google the way it is now. None of us. Well, maybe the other side do. I mean, they're okay with our opinions being squelched. But anyway, we're not okay with it. All right. And if violations of law are identified, the department will proceed appropriately to seek redress. There you go. So you can't say that's not good news. That's very, very good news. And yeah. Says here too, President Trump said he was taking action to stop social media censorship, and he wasn't bluffing. Promises made, promises kept. That's what we expect, right? We've always expected that from politicians. We've just never gotten it before. This is the first time I ever remember. Maybe a couple here and there might keep one or two promises, but he's kept pretty much all. I'd like to see him do more about immigration, but that's a whole other kettle of fish. All right, let's go back here. Not there. Here. And we really don't need to take too big of a look at this. This has been, we've seen this before. It was posted on 8/11/18, and it says media consolidation, the illusion of choice. And it's basically saying that there are 6 media companies that own 90% of the media. So yeah, it's an illusion of choice, but that's all it is. It's an illusion. We really don't have a choice. And it says fake news consolidation propaganda arm of the Democratic Party define antitrust laws. So, you know, Q was talking about this back in 2018, August 2018, you know, a year ago, almost a year ago. And seems now that he is putting, you know, well, Q was talking about this, but obviously Q is speaking for Trump. And now we're getting some action on this. And it could never be soon enough for me, because I know we are all just tired of it. And quite frankly, I've been concerned about it for the upcoming election, because if they are squelching anybody that they don't agree with, then that really puts Trump at an unfair advantage, and it's not right. It's not right. Talk about interference in our elections. Yeah, we don't have to worry about foreign interference. There's enough domestic interference. So anyway, we're going to move on and go to the next post. And this is it. Q is giving us a link to a Twitter account. And this, we're going to go out to that first here. And I've clipped it out to save a little bit of time. This by Sean says, this is how Ray Chandler ties directly to child sex slave human trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Now, these are taken from Ray Chandler's so-called modeling agency pictures. Now, you know, she's not kidding anyone. These are not models. They're not. They look drugged. They looked out of it. They look absolutely full of despair. Their eyes are dead. There is nobody that designs clothes that would look at these two models and go, oh, yep, I want that one. No, not that I am, you know, putting them down or anything of that nature. I'm just saying that they don't have the look that modeling agencies seek after. There's nothing, they're just dead-eyed, not really. You know, this girl is attractive and would be, with makeup and so forth, would be a very attractive girl. But, you know, come on. This girl looks drugged. She looks drugged. And her hair is, you know, like all split ends. She does not look like she takes care of herself. And anyway, it says alleged Epstein victim. I don't know where my mind is tonight. Alleged Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre said in court filing that Epstein MC2 modeling agency founder Jean-Luc Brunel and their associates deliberately engaged in a pattern of racketeering that involved luring minor children through MC2, mostly girls under the age of 17, to engage in sexual play for money. Now, that's exactly what most of us felt was going on. You looked at these young girls and young boys, and you could tell that they were not being hired for modeling. Not the modeling of clothes, but, you know, that's pretty much what most assumed that they were being used for. Kind of, you know, these modeling agencies or whatever were kind of like catalogs where people could pick out their next victim, I guess. And these young women and men would be paid for their favors, I guess, or maybe some of them, other things happened to them. We don't know. But it's interesting. And let's go back up here. It says targets, models, were made to fill out an extensive background report. Now, he asks it as a question, but we know that when he asks a question, he's making a statement. So these models were made to fill out extensive background reports. These models asked in detail regarding their family. The targets, models, generally greenlit based on loner insecurity, distressed personality evaluation. So they were, given the green light, like, yeah, this one's okay. If they were a loner, they were insecure, they were depressed, these are things that people that victimize children and young adults, that's what they look like. That's what they look at. They look for people that are loners, that are a little insecure about themselves, and maybe from a poor family that wouldn't have the ability to fight back in court. That's what they look for. And it says targets, models, generally green lit or given the go ahead, given the green light, based on humble, poorer family backgrounds, because it prevents possible legal retaliation. If a family is using everything that comes into the household just to sustain the household and put food on the table, they don't have money to hire lawyers. If it's between hiring a lawyer and eating, they're going to eat. If it's between hiring a lawyer and paying the mortgage, they're going to pay the mortgage. If it's between hiring a lawyer and making the car payment so the car doesn't get repossessed, that's what they're going to do. Their whole focus is survival. And that unfortunately is their children become targets. And if they happen to be loners and depressed and whatever, then they're even more of a target. The spider web connects those most trusted, those most rich, those most powerful, safe, free, highest level security, plus maximum protection. So they have the highest, these people, the connected, the trusted, the rich, the powerful, they have the highest level of security and maximum protection. So, these kids don't stand a chance. Do you think one of those kids in those pictures would stand a chance against somebody like Jeffrey Epstein? No, of course not. He's too well connected. He can just grease a few palms and take care of it. Or he can say to the child, look, you know what? Here, I'll give you $100,000. Go away. I don't want to hear from you again. Or he can do something, if he doesn't want to pay, he can have them taken care of. So, yeah. And that is what Q is drawing our attention to. This whole modeling agency, and we've been through this before. This isn't the first time Q has brought all of this up about the modeling agency. They are not models, and we all know that. We're not stupid. So yeah, that's what they're doing, and they're picking on kids intentionally, just like pedophiles do that. They just do that. They look for kids that are vulnerable and they prey on them. And they're not going to be choosing kids from very rich backgrounds. If your parents are, if the child's parents are doctors or lawyers, they're not going to be messed with. Generally, they're not, because they know that, okay, these guys have the resources and probably the connections to make it very difficult for me, so I'm going to leave their kids alone. So, yeah. All right. Now, all right, we've got some good news. We had some good news with the antitrust laws, and they're going to be looking into that. Well, we've got some other good news too. Yeah, so it's good news night. And let's go up to the next one here. And all the way up here, right here. And it's just a little one here. It just, Q is just leading us to Ted Cruz Twitter page. And that's where we went here. I clipped it out, saved some time. And it says, today, this is from Senator Ted Cruz, today I penned a letter to Attorney General William Barr, Deputy Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen, and FBI Director Christopher Wray, calling for an investigation into Antifa under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO. So this is, of course, it's good news, but it's we have to wait to see the outcome of this. But it's good that he's on it. I think it's very good. Now, I don't know how necessary it is for me to read all this, but I will read just the first part of it. It was dated today, so this is fresh off the press, and it's to the Honorable William Barr, the Honorable Jeffrey A. Rosen, and the Honorable Christopher Wray. Dear Attorney General Barr, Deputy Attorney General Rosen, and Director Wray, I write to urge you to open an organized crime investigation into Antifa, a left-wing anarchist terrorist organization that routinely relies on violence to intimidate and punish its political opponents. Antifa's violence is widespread and well known. Earlier this month, the Rose City chapter of the domestic terrorist organization Antifa rampaged through Portland, Oregon, stealing and destroying property, disrupting traffic, and assaulting civilians. One journalist, Andy, I think is it pronounced Go? I think. I'm not sure. It's NGO, and I know that it is, it's a foreign name, and I'm just not sure how to pronounce it. Was attacked so severely that he was hospitalized for a brain hemorrhage. This weekend, the cat just jumped right beside the microphone, so that was probably loud. Sorry. All right. William Van Sprossen, an Antifa terrorist, attacked a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Center in Tacoma, Washington, igniting a vehicle and attempting to ignite a propane tank. This mayhem follows previous armed attacks and rioting by Antifa in Portland, as well as the arsons, destruction of property, batteries, and related crimes by Antifa following President Trump's inauguration. These are not I'm telling you, he's a going concern. Little Xander. Yeah. Okay. As well as the arsons, destruction of property, batteries, and related crimes by Antifa following President Trump's inauguration. These are not unconnected lawless incidents. They instead appear to be a pattern of racketeering activity, and they occur principally because Antifa's members rely on masks to conceal which particular member committed any given crime. As you are well aware, federal law has provided the nation's law enforcement with powerful tools to prosecute criminal organizations such as Antifa, the Ku Klux Klan, and the Mafia that rely on group anonymity. The Racketeer Influence and Corruption Organization Act, 18 U.S.C. 1961, prohibits employment or association with any enterprise to conduct that enterprise's affair through a pattern of racketeering activity. Excuse me. 18 U.S.C. 1962 RICO enables law enforcement to prosecute individual members of these groups for participating in the criminal enterprise, even when the government cannot establish which particular individual in a corrupt organization committed a given crime. Now, there's more pages here. I'm not going to read that, but if you go to Senator Ted Cruz, his Twitter account, you'll be able to read this in its entirety should you want to. So yeah, this is good. It needed to come, and I'm glad that Senator Ted Cruz took the initiative to do this. It needs to be addressed. It's needed to be addressed for a long time. All right, now we're going to move on. Yes, we are, because we can. All right, and I do believe this is the last one. It is. This is the last one for today, unless Q posts in the next hour, and if he does, we will catch that up tomorrow. But just one moment here. I don't know where the coughing is coming from because I've been perfectly fine today. All righty. Okay. Now, this is a link to John Solomon, his Twitter account, and it says, bigger than most realize. Be ready. Bob, talking about Bob Mueller. And here he says, breaking, DOJ Russia review targeting key figure collusion in Mueller report. Prosecutors seek access to Professor Joseph Mifsud to determine if any improper surveillance occurred on George Papadopoulos. That's right. I said George Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos. Okay. And we're going to go out and see this article that he is referring to. Robert Mueller soon may be exposed as the magician of omission on Russia. More good news, right? We're getting good news tonight. For a change. I hate bringing you all the, the horrible news all the time, and it does take a toll on me. And I don't know about you guys, but it does take a toll on me. Like just reading and going through all this stuff every day, it gets really, really draining and depressing. And to tell you the truth, yesterday I had partly because I had no sleep, and I mean no sleep. I think I had an hour's sleep, and I was just, the more I was reading about this, I was like, I can't deal with this today. It's too depressing. You need to be well rested and prayed up before you get into all this negativity, because it does take a toll on your body and your mental health. So it's nice. It is a very welcome reprieve when I get to tell you good news. So let's take a look at this.
Special Counsel Robert Mueller will appear before Congress to testify about his report tomorrow, but we have some new reporting from the Hill's own John Solomon. John joins me now to talk about his reporting. It's regarding Joseph Mifsud, a key character in the Mueller report and the beginnings of all of this investigation. What are we learning, John?
Well, I think everybody thinks tomorrow is the final chapter of Robert Mueller, the curtain call. But in fact, I think we are looking at months more of new scrutiny of not only the Russia investigation in general, the FBI's conduct, but some of Mueller's own conclusions. So Joseph Mifsud is the earliest and most mysterious of all the figures in the Russia case. He's a guy that meets with Papadopoulos, and according to Mueller, he plants the idea that the Russians might have Hillary Clinton's emails, and then he goes out and spreads that around. And it is that allegation that they open up the investigation on. New evidence that the new prosecutor, John Durham, special prosecutor looking at the FBI's conduct, is reopening that portion of the case. They're seeking an interview with Mifsud, seeking access to a deposition that Mifsud gave in 2018 to his lawyer. And the question of who Joseph Mifsud is and whether he was working for Western intelligence or Russia is now being reopened by that new prosecutor.
That's a big deal. And so basically, I guess what it means is that that special prosecutor is looking into the very conduct of Mueller himself and putting this report together.
Certainly the conclusions, right? Yeah. Mueller's conclusions are often driven by what are known as FBI assessments. The FBI assesses that Joseph Mifsud had Russian contacts. The FBI assesses that Mifsud did not give accurate testimony. It's interesting, even though he's accused in the report of not being accurate in his testimony, Mifsud is never in charge like all the other people accused of lying to Mueller. And the FBI assesses that the effort was for Papadopoulos to initiate a way to get to Russia and find out whether they had the Clinton emails. In fact, the documents that Stefan Rowe, the lawyer for Mifsud, gave me shows that it's actually Mifsud who plants the idea of he can connect him to Russia. It's Mifsud that initiates all of these contacts, not Papadopoulos. And that changes potentially changes one of the conclusions of the report.
So, this is some interesting stuff here, and I think we haven't heard the last of this, and I think that Mueller is going to really be raked over the coals in the coming months, really. We know what he's done. We know that he has omitted very important details, and so this is going to be very interesting, and you may need to go out and get more popcorn. I'm just saying, if you're running low, just go out and see if you can get some more, because you're going to need it. Now, Xander is being just adorably cute down here, and I wish that he would come up and say hello. We are at the end of the posts, and if you will just hang on 1 second, I will see if he'll come up and say hello to you all. Come here, Xander. Xander, come here. Come on, come on. Come on, would you like to say hello? Maybe not. No, he's too busy doing acrobatics. And I can't really actually get a good grip on him to get him up here. Come here. Nope, not tonight. Oh well, I'll try another night when he's close by. It's hard to get these two to, they're just not, they're camera shy, except for Sammy's tail. You see that every once in a while. But yeah, so that is it for tonight. I know there wasn't a lot for today, but it was some good news and it was some important posts. So we are up to date as of, yeah, he's making a maintenance hole out of himself. Oh, there he is. Hang on. Nope. Always just beyond my grasp. Anyway, that's it for tonight, and I will be back tomorrow. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Sleep well, stay safe, and keep seeking truth. And come back to see me because I love talking to you guys. I really do. So, have a good night.